You catch your reflection in the bathroom mirror this morning. Same face as yesterday, same face as last year. You assume this is it. You assume 200,000 years of Homo sapiens ends here with you, exactly as you are. But the real answer is far stranger. Evolution didn't stop. It just stopped waiting for permission. Most people picture evolution as some ancient machine that switched off the second humans invented agriculture, or cities, or Wi-Fi. Cavemen evolved. You did not. That story feels true. It is completely wrong. In 2007, a geneticist named Gregory Cochran and an anthropologist named Harpending checked the numbers most people never bothered to check. Has natural selection actually slowed down since the Ice Age? The answer stunned even them. Human evolution hasn't slowed at all. Their research suggested adaptive genetic change has happened roughly 100 times faster in the last 40,000 years than in the previous 6 million. The most recent chapter of the human story might be the fastest one ever written. So why does it feel like nothing is changing? Because evolution doesn't move on a timeline your eyes can track. It's not a movie, it's a spreadsheet. Small edits, generation after generation, invisible until you zoom out. Lactase persistence, the ability of adults to digest milk, only became common in Europeans within the last few thousand years. Populations at extreme altitude in Tibet developed a genetic variant for carrying oxygen more efficiently, traced back to interbreeding with an extinct human relative called the Denisovans. None of this took millions of years. It took pressure, and time did the rest. Paleoanthropologist John Hawkes, who has spent decades studying the pace of human genetic change, put it bluntly. Recent human evolution has been faster than at almost any other point in our species' history. The Stone Age brain you imagine as ancient history is still under construction. So if evolution never stopped, and it's moving faster than ever, where is it taking you? Here's the twist. For most of human history, nature pulled the trigger, and death or survival decided the outcome. That force still exists, but it's no longer the main character. You are. For most of human history, a narrow pelvis paired with a baby's large head was a brutal bottleneck. It should have pushed human hips wider through raw survival pressure. Instead, medicine intervened. Caesarean sections quietly removed one of the oldest selection pressures human bodies ever faced. Babies who once wouldn't have survived birth now regularly do and pass their genes forward. Medicine became one of the sculptors. Now look at your eyes. Nearsightedness has exploded over the last 2 generations, especially where children spend more hours on screens than outdoors in daylight. Environment is exactly how evolution edits a species. Give it a few more centuries of screens and that's a plausible new normal for the human eye. Evolutionary biologist Nathan Lentz likes to point out, with the enthusiasm of a man roasting his own family at dinner, that your body is stitched together from compromises. Your spine wasn't built for walking upright, it was repurposed from a 4-legged design, which is why so many adults deal with back pain. Wisdom teeth crowd a jaw that's shrunk over generations because cooked food no longer demands the same bite force. You're walking around in a body full of unfinished business, and future evolution keeps chipping away at it, 1 generation at a time. But nature isn't the only editor with access to the manuscript anymore. Gene editing tools now exist that can rewrite specific sequences of DNA with a precision nothing in nature has ever managed. IVF and embryo screening already let some parents select against certain heritable diseases before a child is even born. For the entire history of life on Earth, mutation was random and selection was blind. For the first time, a species has the tools to aim. So picture it. Not a glowing-eyed movie mutant, something quieter, slightly taller populations, the same way average height already rose several inches across parts of Europe and Asia last century. Immune systems shaped less by which pathogens killed your ancestors and more by which vaccines your parents had access to. Brains that increasingly outsource memory to devices, the same way ancestral brains reorganized around written language a few thousand years ago. Evolution follows whatever the environment rewards. Right now, it rewards digital fluency over physical endurance. Guess which traits get favored next? None of this requires some far-off, unrecognizable future. It's already happening in the background of your very ordinary life. Every pair of glasses reroutes pressure evolution would have otherwise applied. Every vaccine, every fertility treatment nudges the dial somewhere nature alone never would have chosen. You aren't watching evolution from the outside like a museum exhibit. You're inside the mechanism, and so is everyone you've ever met. If you could see your own great-great-grandchildren standing in front of you, would you recognize what evolution and human choice had built together? Slightly different proportions, a different relationship with disease, a brain wired around tools that don't exist yet. Still unmistakably human, still somehow a stranger. So the next time you catch your reflection in the mirror, look a little closer. That face isn't a finished product. It's a rough draft, mid-revision, being edited in real time by forces both ancient and brand new. Nature is still holding the pen. But for the first time in the history of life on this planet, so are you.